What's up, YouTube? It's Russell, AmbeRussell. You guys subscribe to the show at the top, thumbs up to the video, leave a comment at the bottom. Watch previous videos and stay tuned what's coming up in the future. And the only way for you to know what's coming up in the future is by subscribing to the show at the top. And whenever I upload a new video, my face will be on your home page, as well as you can always click your subscription box and see when I have a new video up, and just watch old videos from me as well. And so, in hip-hop music news rather, Eminem was crowned king of hip-hop via Rolling Stone magazine. They said that he was the king because of different criteria that they have for his list, which I do agree with. He is the king according to this list and the different criteria that they asked for. They said whoever has the most Twitter followers and likes on Facebook, views on YouTube, awards that they have won in the past 2 years, tour grossings, and how many awards you have won, how many albums you have sold, different stuff like that. And according to that list, he is the king of hip-hop. But my only problem with the list is that it has a lot of people who are not deserving on the list, as well as a lot of people who should not be on the list at all, and a lot of people who are missing from the list. But again, it's because it's not set up by how lyrically great you are, or what the message is behind your music. It's rather set up by how commercially successful you are. And to me, that's not what hip-hop is. It's more about lifestyle. It's about the lyrics in your music and about the message that you are bringing to the table. And half the people on that list don't have nothing to back that up. They aren't lyrically great. They're just, hot for the moment. I could see them fading away in a couple of years, and I don't see them having that, that longevity in the hip-hop rap community. Besides for, making a couple of mixtapes here and there, I don't see how, like, Waka Flocka and Gucci Mane or Diddy are on the list for top hip-hop artists. I guess the fact that they make hip-hop music, or the fact that Diddy makes hip-hop music rather, that makes him be a part of the list, and he has made a lot of money. But I just don't see how, the correlation between that and actually being a good artist in the hip-hop community is. I guess that's how Rolling Stone likes to do it. They don't care about how lyrically well you are as an artist, rather than just, commercial success. Me personally, I don't remember ever listening to Eminem on the hip-hop, rap, R&B stations. They never play them a lot until recently with the song Love the Way You Lie. Other than that, I don't remember them ever really playing his music on the hip-hop stations. Also, on the list was Lil Wayne, Drake. I feel as though Drake is too new to be king of anything, He just came out the woodwork. He only has one album. He's only one album in. So the list really shows how, it's not about there's longevity or anything, rather than just how hot you are at the moment. The list only goes, the criteria only starts about 2 years ago. So a lot of people who were doing good things in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, late 90s, or who were, the founding fathers of hip-hop for the 90s, aren't on that list because they're not doing anything right now. Like, for instance, Nas, he's not on the list because the past 2 years he hasn't really done too much. Or Common, he's not on the list, or he's not up top on the list. And there's, a lot of really lyrically good artists who are very low or not on the list at all, which to me is what hip-hop is. It's not about the albums you sold, or how many people go see you in concert, how many friends you have on Facebook, or videos you have seen on YouTube. It's about the lyrical content of your music. And personally, I feel as though one reason why Eminem's so high up there is because he's white. I'm not saying anything because to be racist or anything like that, but the fact that he's making hip-hop music and he's white, and he is able to be broadcast to more people than a lot of the other people were back in the day in the late 90s. I mean, he was on MTV all the time. They played his music more than they will play, someone who was black. He was getting played on the pop stations more than, and being heard by more people than, let's say, Jay-Z, who didn't blow up till, recently, till about 10 years ago or so. That's when Jay-Z finally blew up, Jay-Z was always big in the hip-hop community, but he didn't really catch on until, about 2003, 2004 with Dust Your Shoulders Off and stuff like that, '03 Bonnie and Clyde, that's when Jay-Z really took off into the stratosphere and was able to become the artist that he is today, being known to a lot of different people. But Eminem, I remember growing up and being in elementary school, and a lot of the white kids knowing who Eminem was and knowing his music, but they didn't know who DMX was or know who they didn't know who Lil Wayne was back in 2000. I knew who Lil Wayne was with the bling bling and the Hot Boys music and stuff, but they didn't know who he was. And that just goes to show that Eminem has a foot in the door much quicker than the other people, though in the hip hop community he was two steps behind a lot of other people because of the fact that he's white. But in the mainstream world, he was able to, break down barriers just because of the fact that he was white. And it was just a lot more easier for him to get successful than someone else. But he is a very talented rapper, and a lot of people really do like him. But a lot of people do say that his music right now is not as good as it was 2 years ago, 10 years ago rather. But that's how Rolling Stone wants to do the list. That's how they're going to do it. Speaking of substance and music and people who actually are making music and not just, hot. And a lot of people on the list just make, like, for instance, Lil Wayne. I think he's really talented as a lyricist, as making, great metaphors and stuff, but I don't see any lyrically, I don't know how to put this, but, like, songs with actual meaning to them and substance to them. I just hear songs like 6 Foot, 7 Foot, or whatever it's called. I don't understand what the point of that song is. Like, what's he's trying to say in that song? I mean, just a couple of hot lines. Other than that, I don't see any actual substance in that song or anything to make it seem more hot. There's no message behind it. Just the fact that he's just saying, just a bunch of random stuff. And to me, he's just like I read it somewhere in another comment on, I forget what website, but someone was saying that, Lil Wayne only makes, right now, Lil Wayne mainly makes music that is good for Facebook updates and Twitter tweets. And when you think about it, that's all his music really has been in a couple of years. It's only been, stuff like that, or stuff like, eating a girl out and fucking every girl in the world. And there's no actual substance to it, and yet he is really high up on the list. Anyways, speaking of substance and music, Katy Perry is tied with Michael Jackson for having 5 singles. Get it, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 singles all reached the #1 spot on Billboard Hot 100 from one album, which is a good look for her. I congratulated her and hope that she did it, but she kind of cheated a little bit. She sold her album really low, or she sold her singles rather really low for like 69 cents, which encouraged people to actually go out and buy it instead of download it illegally. As well as she remixed the song with Missy Elliott later on after the song was released and wasn't going #1 yet. So she really manipulated the charts so that her song could go #1. And I have to say this for one thing, a lot of people are giving her flack for doing this because they're saying that she cheated. They don't want her to tie with Michael Jackson, especially the timing of it, with his birthday coming up pretty soon in a couple of days. And one thing I gotta say is this: it's unfair to dog her too much because her singles were #1 for much more weeks than Michael Jackson's singles were for #1 for only like 7 weeks or so. Her singles were #1 for like 18 weeks combined together. So that just goes to show that though she doesn't have that much substance or that much talent compared to Michael Jackson, she doesn't have that Thriller bad type album, sales. She is a singles artist, and she is doing it by having a lot of #1s and having them for a lot of weeks. So that's one thing I do have to give to her, is the fact that the public is liking her music. And as Linda Perry says, she's making popcorn music. Linda Perry, you might know her, she wrote quite a few songs for Pink as well as Christina Aguilera, which caused a little bit of a beef between Pink and Christina a little bit more. It started off with the Lady Marmalade set, and when they were recording that song, and then it got even worse when Christina Aguilera started working with Linda Perry. Pink felt as though if there was no Pink's second album, there would have been no strip for Christina Aguilera, which is somewhat true, but anyway, that's not here or there. This is about Linda Perry and Katy Perry. She basically was dogging the music industry and saying how different it is and how, it's not about actual talent. It's more about creating that #1 hit. And if you look at Katy Perry, her album sales are, they're good. She sold about like 5 million worldwide. But, it's not that Adele's success with 8 million worldwide. It's not a lot of people are buying her album in America. It's only about 1.7. Rather, all her singles going gold, platinum, 4 times platinum. And that just goes to show that she's just a singles artist and not an actual, true, talented album artist. But one thing I gotta say is that a lot of reviewers enjoyed her album mainly because it had, that ability to be replayed and have a lot of good songs on it that could stand out as a single. And a lot of songs could be replayed in any type of order, and there's no actual construction to the album. Like some albums, you listen to it, you only can listen to it one way, and that's from start to finish. Katy Perry's album, they were saying, is that you could listen to it in shuffle, reverse, backwards, forwards, and it'll still be the same album, and it'll still sound just as good as the first listen. And other news about pop music artists, Lady Gaga, I'm really happy to see her dressing down a little bit more. She's going back to how she was back in the 2008 days. She's not wearing a lot of costumes anymore. She's toning it down. She's wearing a normal blonde hair wig with, like clothes that you could get from, any designer store. And she's toning it down, and she premiered her new video for You and I. One thing I gotta say is this is like it got leaked supposedly or whatever, and she, had it come out the day of Madonna's birthday. I mean, kind of sketchy there, but maybe it just happened that way. But she didn't wait until Thursday to premiere on MTV. She just had a televised premiere of it on MTV, where she announced that she's opening up the VMAs this year, which is a very, tricky task to do because there have been quite a few, stellar openers. For instance, Janet Jackson has opened it. Britney Spears, Christina, and Madonna have opened it before, so she has a lot of big shoes to fill. Kanye West wanted to open the award show so badly in 2007, that's why he had a hissy fit. But anyways, she premiered her new video for You and I on Tuesday, and my review for that video is this. Lady Gaga fan actually asked me to do my thoughts of it. I think it was too much clutter in it. I think if she had toned it down a little bit, she could have kept the same costumes and craziness in the video. I like that twisted darkness of the video, but there's too much going on, and there's no storyline actually going through it. It was a bunch of different shots, just put together randomly. I wish as though there was some, if it was a flashback, I knew it was a flashback, and now if it was present time for her, or which way it was going. I wish that there was some, what's that word? If the storylining was timely and it was this scene happened and this scene happened and this scene happened, it'll be a little bit less confusion. I felt as though the story was, not told too well because of the fact that there was so much going on in the video, and like the mermaid scene and the bionic scene. I understand what she's saying now is that it's so hard to fall in love with people in the video, and it's so hard that sometimes you can't do it. Like for instance, the scene where the guy's humping the mermaid he's not able to do it, so it's hard to love people sometimes. But I wish she went about it without having so much different storylines in the video. I wish it was kept a little bit more simple, but for her effort, I do enjoy the video a little bit. I'm not saying it's her best. I feel as though she doesn't have that ability to look at something and tone it down anymore. I used to do photography, and whenever you did digital photography, you go on Photoshop, you could do whatever you want to the picture. You could make it black and white, green, blue, purple, all types of colors. You could make the line go crazy. You could blow up, make it smaller. You could make stuff twisted or whatever. And you can make stuff sharp. You can make stuff blurry and all sorts of stuff on Photoshop. And sometimes you have to step back and look at your picture and say, there's too much going on. The message of this photo is gone. Let me tone it down. Let me take away this, that, and third, and make it go more basic. And that's what she needs to do, start doing more with her music videos, I feel as though if she starts making it more basic and still keeping that element, it will be more epic. I mean, I feel as though she's trying a little bit too much with her videos and stuff, and she's not going to capture that same appeal that she had with Paparazzi, which just came naturally to her. She's not going to have that same appeal as her other videos from the Fame era. She's not going to have that Bad Romance appeal anymore, because that was just effortlessly. It just happened to be a great video. I just feel as though it's so hard for her to try to outdo herself that she shouldn't even try to outdo herself anymore. She already hit her peak as far as being a music video artist, that she should just, just continue doing her best and not try to outdo herself every single time and out Lady Gaga in herself. She just do what she does best and do it well. And that, to me, will make up for a better video. And speaking of the videos, music awards, Britney Spears is getting honored, and I must say is this: it's a good look for her. She has done a lot as far as making music videos and making a lot of iconic videos, starting off with her first one being one of the most iconic videos from a pop female artist to date. And she's really bringing it. She used to always bring it with her music videos, and it's just good to see that they're honoring her, though she has never won an award up until 2007, where I feel, or 2008 rather, which happened after her 2007 performance, which wasn't, that great. But I must say is this: a lot of people are getting upset about that, but I gotta say this, is that she has done quite a few iconic videos for the awards and were nominated that were never won. And she also had a ton of iconic performances, whether it was the 2007 one or 2003 one, or 2002 one, or 2000, or whatever performance, or the different chakras that she did, like for instance her honoring Michael Jackson with his 40th birthday trophy or whatever that was, and her calling him the artist of the millennium, and he thinking it was the award. That was an iconic moment. That was that was a crazy moment for her. And she just is really, it's hard to say MTV with Video Music Awards without thinking of Britney Spears in the past 10 years. And that's it, you guys. This is Russell of AmbeRussell. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show. Some of you guys think about Janet Jackson and her lip syncing. Do you guys think she lip sync at all, or if she's singing live? I personally don't think she's singing live 24/7, but her voice is probably singing somewhere behind that backing track. I mean, she does have live instruments and backup singers there, so maybe she is singing live some of the time. Think about how about Britney Spears and the VMA honoring her and playing tribute to her, and how about Katy Perry? Do you guys think she deserves the 5 #1? And if not, do you guys think that Linda Perry was correct with what she said about her? And how do you guys think Eminem is the king of hip-hop? And how do you guys feel about the You and I video? Do you think it was epic, or was it just blah? Thanks you guys for watching. This is Russell and Russell. Subscribe to the show at the top, leave a comment, and subscribe to the show, please. And make sure you guys watch previous videos and stay tuned with what I have in the future by subscribing to the show. This is Russell with AmbeRussell. Peace.